So Alex, I have something a bit different for you today.
It looks like some European stuff with Nick Shirley. That kid's all over the world, man.
Yeah, he does travel a fair bit to every hot spot out there at the moment. In fairness, he brings some great coverage to the table.
Big fan, big fan.
Yeah, this time he's in Salou in Spain. I presume you've seen it on every news agency around the world. With 60,000.
Let's
Well,
see. Right. Quetta and Malia.
yes. Well, Creta more so, where 60,000 jumped the border in space of a day. There's a
Right. I've
lot
seen
of
the
people.
estimates between 60 and 72,000.
Yeah, it's only about
Came in
50
from Morocco.
50,000. Yeah, it's only 50,000 people living there. So yeah,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah,
Well, it's a vacation hotspot. I was looking at, bed and breakfast out there to check and see what things are looking like. Looks like you can get a Airbnb for $99. And a few months ago, it was like 250. And that's EUs. That's real monies, according to you. So
yes, that's real currency.
all different shapes and sizes.
That's
Weird
true.
money.
But it's actually it looks like a beautiful spot actually. If I was planning on going on holiday,
Oh yeah, it's
and it looks like it's
gorgeous,
cheap. It's got cheap for some reason. All of a sudden, I don't know why.
right?
Yeah, I don't know what cost that. Right, let's see what Nick Shirley has to say about the whole situation.
68,000 migrants who came across from the Moroccan border into the country of Spain. This is mainland Spain right behind me. However, right now I'm heading over to Ceuta, which is actually a town in Spain. However, it is on the African continent. There's a few towns that are part of Spain that are on the African continent, and Ceuta is one of them. Literally over 60,000 migrants came across their border. A lot of you are wondering what actually happened, so therefore we're heading there right now to see it for ourselves. These migrants quite literally came over by the truckloads into Spain, and people are wondering if it's a coordinated attack or if it was just the Moroccans that were coming over and seeking for a better life, or if it was an actual invasion. And just recently, in April, the Prime Minister of Spain came out with a plan to give over 500,000 migrants.
That probably was not a good idea, by the way, from the Spanish side. 500,000. I think when that headline went around the world, I think that might be the reason why they jumped the border.
Well, weren't those 500,000 the descendants of most of the families and
Yeah,
migrants that had been brought in by Franco back in the day?
back in the day, but a lot of generational people there for generations. But I think he also did it to win an election as well. Let's not be under any illusion. The reason he did 500,000 people was to get extra votes on the table.
Or you're gonna have to tell the people who he is. Who is he?
Well, the prime minister, prime minister at the moment, and don't ask me to pronounce his name. We'll see his name there in a moment. Yeah, my
I'll
Spanish is
try.
not
I'll
my
give it a
Spanish.
shot for you. I'll
Yeah,
give it a shot for you.
okay, you give it a shot there. You get the prime minister up there. I forgot you can actually speak a good bit of Spanish. Actually, got that.
Yeah, it has to do with my prior employment, sir.
Yes.
I worked in a place where there were lots of Spanish speakers. We'll keep it on the down low what it was that I did, but I did work with lots of Spanish
A
speakers.
lot of Spanish individuals.
Yes, both from Mexico and then those native to the state of California as well.
Oh yes.
All right, let's see what old Shirley's got to say next.
Migrants' legal status here inside of the country. Right now we're heading over to Ceuta to see it for ourselves. We'll be speaking with the migrants themselves, with the Spaniards, and we'll even be going to the border to see what actually happened here inside this town. And right now, if you are not subscribed to the channel, we're so close to 2 million subscribers. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, get this
You
video
speak Spanish, by the way.
and see what is actually happening here.
Sorry.
He speaks Spanish.
Oh, Nick.
When he was doing when he was
Really?
doing interviews in California, he was speaking in Spanish, and I've seen him on interviews where he's being interviewed in Spanish. His Spanish is muy bueno, really good. That dude hits on like all cylinders.
Oh
He does not
right.
miss a
Okay.
beat.
Very
Oh,
very
remember
good.
we were watching when he was in Cuba? We did a bit
Oh
of
yes, I
Shirley in
do
Cuba.
remember that.
Yeah,
Yes, he was actually really good actually. In fairness to the
yeah. It was those interviews were amazing.
Mm.
And we're gonna hit Cuba again in the next few weeks because there's some wild, wild stuff going on there. So
Yeah.
part of it, I think, has to do with Marco Rubio's parents were Cuban immigrants who did it the right way, and look where he's at now.
Yeah.
One of the most well-spoken politicians we have.
Here we go. Now to start, I met up with citizen vigilante by the name Mansilla, who saw and predicted that the migrants were coming just days before. And now let's go see what is happening. We've arrived now, and we're here with Mansilla. Mancilla's from here in Spain. Right now we have a group of men right here. Look, they're covering up their faces. ¿Eres de Morocco? You from Morocco? ¿Por qué vinieron aquí a España?
No hablar mucho. Trabajo. Trabajando, no cartel staff, no ladrones.
¿Cruzaste nadando? Nadando. Okay. These people normally they want to go to Europe. They want to go to Spain. So that's their mission here. That's why they crossed by swimming.
On July 31st was the day when quite literally 60,000 people came across, and right now a lot of those young men have returned back to Morocco, but now you just have groups of these men walking around this town, just like this one right here.
That wouldn't make you feel very safe over there, would it?
Well, when you have a bunch of military-age males just wandering around your cities in Ireland, the UK, or Ceuta, it's not going to be great.
No.
It's,
You
they're
wouldn't
not
feel.
part of the.
Yeah, they're definitely not trying to blend in. They don't even speak the language, which I find shocking. They're saying we're coming for work, but they don't speak Spanish, which is probably going to be a bit of a difficulty if you're looking for work in Spain, wouldn't it?
It kind of tears up the social fabric, right? When you have those who are choosing not to assimilate, but they want to make the money, they want to make those EU bucks, as it were.
Yeah. But it's just,
Euro.
I was watching Asmongold when he was covering this, and he says it's like watching a bunch of NPCs just wandering around aimlessly, not doing anything. Just, yeah, it's very, very unsettling, isn't it?
Well, nobody gets to be the protagonist, and everybody's just kind of wandering around. And I don't know if you play video games, but if enough NPCs pile on top of you, you will die. So that's kind of what's happening in these countries.
Yes, unfortunately.
It's like PvP off screen that you can't see.
Yeah.
But it's far away. It's in Ceuta. It's not on the mainland of Spain. So, hey, maybe not that bad, right?
Not that bad.
Really bad.
Yeah,
really bad.
yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I think Europe is finally waking up in a lot of ways, and a lot of European countries are finally waking up to the issue. But is it too late for them waking up right now? I don't know. Let's see what else.
EU Parliament's starting to make a lot of rules about that. They're starting to get real uncomfortable.
Yes,
it's all that Denmark model.
Yeah, it's all fun and games. So it literally arrives on your own doorstep, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. Where is the border? Is it your door? Is it your city or county? Is it your state? Is it your country? Where do you stop the people coming in?
Yes, exactly.
Well, I guess the elites get to dictate to us when and where that happens.
Well, I think the elites are getting a bit uncomfortable now with the whole situation themselves, aren't they?
It would appear that way, my friend. It would appear that way.
These groups are creating insecurity. The military are here as well. He said one thing. He said, this is Morocco. One of them said, this is Morocco because they think this is Morocco, but Spain, this has been Spanish since 400 years. 400 years before Morocco got his independence. So it doesn't make any sense. But still they say this is Morocco.
Is this the first stop for most migrants to head up into the rest of Europe?
Yes, this is the main door. The main gate. Yeah.
And right now we're heading to the border.
I know, probably stopped it there in a very awkward moment, but interesting.
Well, he's pointing at the border, so there you go.
It's very interesting when he said it. This is the gateway. So an awful lot of people who coming through the African continent leave Morocco and come through Spain, or they leave Morocco and come through Italy, or if you know, that's normally the gateway is Morocco in a lot of ways.
Spain might have some claim on it since they've been there since 1580, in a time when total war took territory. If Morocco became a country in 1956, their claim is a little stronger than is Morocco's.
Well,
that's based on how war used to function, right? You used to go to a place, take their land, and then it was your land.
Yes,
we don't do that anymore.
The Spanish get very itchy over that. You do not touch their land. In fairness to Spain, in a lot of ways, they get very, as you see how quickly they send in the military when this happened. Yeah, they.
Spain has a limited amount of land. They want to keep what they have, whatever it might be. If it's the little Isla de Perdiel
In fairness,
that has nothing on it, but
I mean, in fairness, I've met a lot of Spanish. They're very, very fiery people. You know, yeah. Mm. They have a limited amount of patience when it comes to lots of things, they would say. Let's see
it's a fact.
Let's see this border, actually. It's very interesting to see it now.
Here we go. We've made it here to the border, and a lot of these migrants are actually now going back to Morocco. So for instance, right here, we have a group of Moroccans that are now going back to Morocco. So right here is where they all came into the country, and right now, they're going back to Morocco. Now there are still thousands upon thousands of migrants out inside the city, and we'll be finding them in just a moment. However, it's super important for you guys to understand exactly what happened at the border. So this is the border right now. We do have some people that are returning themselves in, and now they're saying just go back to Morocco. And it looks like you guys do have some floaties out now to stop you from coming in. Were those there before?
The thing is, I don't understand why they didn't put this before when this started. Why now? Why now? That's my question.
Do you think it was coordinated to let them all come in that day?
It's coordinated because I cannot imagine a country like Morocco, which is investing heavily in cybersecurity, in military, how these people can get out of control in this country. It's unbelievable. Nobody can believe this is not coordinated.
You guys going back to Morocco?
Yeah. ¿Cuándo viniste aquí?
Ask them why they came here and what's the situation like in Morocco.
They came thinking that they would have work and food here, and there is not, so they go back.
How come everyone came in flip-flops? ¿Por qué todos vinieron aquí en chanclas? What was it like the day everyone started coming in?
Yo qué sé, esto es un jaleo muy grande. Nos han hecho un alboroto total.
So now we have another person going back to Morocco. When everyone came through, they actually closed down all the shops.
Wow. Apparently all these guys came over for work, didn't they?
Oh, if it's work, it just seems very strange. You don't really fight a war in flip-flops. Probably have to have good shoe wear.
Yes.
You have to,
Yeah. That's what Nick pointed out. Yeah, that's what Nick pointed out straight away when they were saying about the work things. He pointed out their flip-flops.
Why the hell are you wearing chanclas, bro?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, he copped it straight away. I think most people have...
Well, what's funny is Nick said that when everybody rushed in, all the shops just shut down. Yep. Nope, you're not going to get access to any resources. You are not going to take our stuff.
Nope, they just close everything down straight away.
And they have to find water, and then they have to find food, and then they have to punctually head back because
there's no resources. Yeah, no resources. Yep. Just thanks for coming. Now you can go away now. Pretty much that's what they did there. They just closed everything down, saying, "Look, eventually they'll have to leave with no water, no food. They have to go back."
Unlike California, where they just put out the old welcome mat and say, "Come on in here.
Yeah,
our stuff."
Yeah, how's that working out?
Well, we have a bullet train that doesn't go anywhere. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was an intro. That's a nice looking plan, by the way. Yeah, I saw the plans for that.
Yeah, the change order went up to like 118 billion. Yeah. Not great.
The funny thing is, when we were covering that, is the fact that Japan built their bullet train from one end of their country down to the other end of the country for half of what California has spent so far on their bullet train. It's crazy. Wow. All right, let's see what else Nick has to say.
Because they were afraid of the towns were about to get looted. So when all the migrants came over here, they thought they were going to get food, they were going to try to get jobs, but all the stores were closed. Everyone just came through the border. They swam from the Moroccan side. Those floaties weren't there at the time, so they all just swam in or walked across the border here.
They were swimming and walking through these rocks.
Someone crossing.
So right now you have a group of people trying to swim in right now, and then you also have people being taken back into Morocco from the Spanish police. While people are actively trying to swim into Spain right now, you actually have them also sending the people back to Morocco at the same time. Looks like you have the Navy out here.
That is absolutely crazy, isn't it? They're still trying to swim over the border.
It's astronomical. That's just insane. It's
Yeah.
insane. And there's a neutral zone set up too. So there's a space where you have to get across that is functionally neither. Well, the Spanish had to give up part of their territory to make it a neutral space because Morocco wouldn't.
Yeah.
So there's like a buffer zone, and that's they just like walk through the neutral zone, which seems very strange. It seems like if you have a border, you would want to protect that border.
Yeah, well, in fairness, up to this point, I don't think Spain even realised that people would be crazy enough to swim over the ocean and around.
Well, it's a landmass that's connected. It's not that long of a swim, and the Mediterranean is pretty nice this time of year right here.
But now at least the Spanish military, you can see in the background, they set up a massive floating device, but you can still see people crazy enough to do it. And as they're coming off, the Spanish police are just bringing them back over the border, and around they go by the looks of it.
Right, but the boat says civil on it, so it's probably
Coast Guard.
law enforcement.
No, the Spanish
Coast
Guard.
Coast Guard?
Yeah, Spanish Coast Guard.
Okay.
Wow, that is absolutely crazy. Nuts.
Where were they at the day when everyone came through?
They came the day after this ship in order to provide support.
And how did you know that people were going to start crossing into Spain the day that they did? Because you came all the way from Madrid.
Yeah, I came all the way over from Madrid by car because from Monday I started to see in the news that a little amount of people was doing that, but not at this dimension. It started slowly and then got completely out of hands.
And so you saw it ahead of time, but the military and the police didn't.
Correct. That's a good point. I didn't think about that, but yes.
So you think they could have done something to stop this?
Yeah, they could did something beforehand, for sure. That's why all the Spanish people think that this was kind of coordinated.
As we get away from the border, people are still in floaties coming across. You have all these people sleeping here in the back of this shop right here. Now you have lines of people waiting to get food. What did you think when you saw all these people coming across? Would you say this was an invasion?
Yes, an invasion is armed with weapons. I think this is an occupation because they are not coming with weapons. But it's an occupation, for sure. The people from Ceuta, they couldn't even eat. They couldn't even go to the supermarket for 3 days. The people of Ceuta was suffering this situation. They couldn't go to.
That's a very good point. A couple of good points there, actually. First, if this young man traveled all the way down from Madrid and knew it was going to happen, 3 days out, surely the Spanish military knew it.
So why didn't they reinforce their border, I guess is the question. If they knew, or if they had a reasonable suspicion, why didn't they do something to beef up that border security?
I think it was just complacency on their part, if I was being honest. I don't think it was even planned. I just think they were going, 3 or 4 guys jumped the border, so what? But he kind of realised that, wait a minute, if 3 or 4 get through, everyone else is going to chance their arm, as you would say.
Yeah, there's 3, then there's 30, then there's 300, then there's 30 to 50,000.
Yeah, it was absolute. Yeah, I think the Spanish could have acted faster, but look, that's the wisdom of hindsight, even on his part. But he is right about the people of that city suffering for 3 days because they couldn't have access to the shops either. Everything was closed.
That is not a great look.
No, definitely not. No, we're going to jump forward a tiny bit into video, as they would say. What you just missed is this Nick interview and different people wandering around. Guess what? They're all there for work. I'm going to save you a good 10 minutes. They're all there for work, apparently. Every one of them on flip-flops.
Of course, yes, working in flip-flops.
Yes?
Without a skill set. We're going to go work in Ceuta. Got it.
Yes. Apparently they're all there for that. Right, let's press play.
You as a woman, how did you feel seeing 40,000, 60,000 migrants come across the border here?
Me sentí amenazada. No podía salir con el bebé. No podíamos salir porque yo vivo en un ático, pero tengo vecinos que vivían en el primero y tenían miedo de que saltaran a las casas. Es peligroso. Porque cuando vienen en avalancha es peligroso.
How do you feel knowing that the woman here felt threatened? Amenazado.
I feel very, very angry. I cannot understand how we let our own woman live with fear, running to their homes with the baby. Like, I don't want to stay in the street. I go home. Thank you. I'm not gonna allow this. Any Spanish guy shouldn't allow this. If we are real men, we should do something right now. We should do something right now.
And you're the only one out here.
I'm the only one here from Madrid. No one didn't came with me. No one wanted to come with me.
Do you think if strong men don't stand up for countries in Europe and America, they'll eventually fall?
Yes. If we don't wake up now, we will fall for sure. This is our moment. Wake up, Europe. Wake up.
Do you think it will take vigilantes to actually make a difference?
What do you think of that young man there?
Well, I think he's correct. If you don't protect your borders, then you don't have a country. So it will imminently cause a fall. It has to. There isn't another way. They'll just send another 50, 60, 70,000 people to overrun you. And if the population of Ceuta is 50,000, then you just doubled your population. The resources aren't there, and it's on the African continent. So they can just continue to push unless Spain does something to really lock that border up and protect their territory.
Yeah, wish they.
It's recognized as Spanish territory, so it should be protected like it's Spanish territory.
Yeah, the Spanish have sent in the military are there at the moment from Spain. Now, as you said, I fully agree they should do more about strengthening, make it a bigger wall, have a permanent military presence. But all this costs resources. Every single thing is going to cost resources. And it's a drain on not just Spain, but across Europe. It's everything that's just draining all our resources. Looking after, trying to be the saints of the world. It's not working out too well for us.
No.
Here inside
I'm
Europe.
the fucking first vigilante here. They're gonna fear me. I'm sick of this push. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of seeing Spanish women, running away in our fucking own country. I'm sick of this.
The police here only came after it took place. They're not reacting to the cause. They're not reacting to what actually caused it to happen.
They're not reacting. They are under the orders of the government. They cannot do anything. They cannot do anything. It's the people in the ground, only the citizens can do something. Citizens, wake up. This is our moment. We need to wake up as citizens, as European citizens.
Now we got word that there are people up in the top of the mountain hiding from the police, so we headed to the tip top. Because of how the situation got, people left the border and they started heading up the mountain of this small city, and now they're up top here in the mountain. This is where they're sleeping and staying away from the authorities up here on the top of these mountains. They're coming down right now. You have a group of them coming through right here, and this is where they're sleeping to stay away from the authorities. Right there, they have that man running away. So they're staying up here inside of the mountain, and then they're staying away from.
Wow. That they're even hiding up in the mountains. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Well, they get rooted out eventually.
They will.
But there's still, even at 50,000 sent back, if it was 60,000, then there's still 10,000 random Moroccans,
trying to
or whatever other nationality might
Yeah.
be. It might not just be Moroccans. You can't tell. Like if you didn't vet them, you don't have any idea who swam across, who came through in groups. You know, the terrorist threat is always there, and it's not great to have any group of people. Even if that whole thing was functionally just to get a few hundred people in that were going to stick and stay, that had nefarious function, that's still not great.
No.
It's even worse.
It's worse than the fact that they're hiding out in mountains. So Spanish military will eventually have to go up there and start literally digging them out, which is going to be an absolute logistical nightmare. As I said,
Like ticks.
Yeah, as I said, I've been to Spain before, and it's a beautiful country. It's absolutely beautiful in Barcelona and so on. But it's a shame to see a lot of beautiful countries in Europe kind of getting a bit overrun, is the word I could describe.
Well, complacency has a lot to do with that, I believe.
Yes.
Let's see what Nick's got to say next.
The authorities, there's another one coming out of the mountain right there. And now the military's coming through right now. Military just came through, yelled at the person, and now they're running back up into the mountain. Look, now there's another one coming through the mountain right here. Everyone's just coming out, popping out of this mountain right now. 2 guys right there, another guy right there, another guy right there. 3 guys just popped out of the mountain. And this guy just ran right into the bush. And the other guys who just ducked out of the mountain just came and jumped into this brush right here. Morocco? Barcelona? So now all these guys are just coming out of the mountain. They can't get food, but they all have cigarettes somehow. ¿Qué pasó aquí?
حزرة ضاربين ضربونا با الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمد رسول الله أقول
No. And right now they have people going on runs with sticks to fight off anybody that potentially comes their way. That's how crazy it's getting right now here. You have people living up here in the mountains. There's 20 people living behind that bush right there. These guys are all going to Madrid, and runners are running around with sticks to hit anyone if they're trying to attack them on their run. In Spain, are you guys able to have guns? Can you own a gun?
No, it's forbidden. But military people and police, they have their own guns, and I know a lot of people here is bringing their personal weapons.
So if you're like that runner right there who doesn't have a gun, you're carrying a stick.
Yeah, correct. He's carrying a stick. A lot of people is carrying sticks. Groups of local people with sticks everywhere. Everyone for security reasons.
Wow, so not guns, but sticks.
Yeah, not guns but sticks, like in the medieval.
Welcome to Europe.
Welcome to Europe. Welcome to the medieval age.
Why do you think your politicians are allowing this to happen?
If they allow this to become the third world, they know, people in power, they know that they will be able to do whatever they want. They will increase their power because a ruler in the third world is a real ruler.
And so you're saying in a first world country where there's order, that way the politicians can't take that much power.
Yeah.
Because there's order.
The thing here is that people in power know that if they...
You think that's the main plan?
So what happens with governments is they tell you that things are unsafe so they can exert more power. If you saw the trucks that were going up there that were military, they had a plate in the front within which to mount a weapon system, 7.62, 5.56, whatever. But there weren't there were no weapons in there, right? So functionally, if you have a natural right to defend yourself, but you can't be armed with whatever the level is of incoming firepower is, then you're not really an armed people that can protect themselves. So the government is supposed to protect you in that instance, but you don't know when the military or law enforcement is going to show up to your emergency. You will always be there for your emergency, but law enforcement or the military might not be there to protect you. So their people have to fend off groups of men of military age with sticks, while those men are telling them that Allah is the messenger of God and lots of other things that aren't necessarily Spanish in nature.
Yes.
So it's becoming a deteriorating situation quickly. And as long as the government can say, hey, you're unsafe, then they can exert more control over the populace.
Yeah.
It's an end result regardless of desired results, but that is the end result of that kind of action.
Wow. I fully agree with you that maybe it is time to start looking at our own natural rights to arm ourselves all across Europe. I know a lot of Europeans wouldn't agree with me, but
well, in the 1780s and 1790s, there was a few people who framed this document called the Constitution, which has the Second Amendment, and they kind of had it. They kind of figured it out. You know,
yeah.
If the people are armed, then tyranny will not descend upon them in such a fashion.
That's true. That is true. Now, here is another clip from the same video. And it's interesting when he's going around here where the Spanish are starting to take some action. Let's have a look and see what he has to say.
And now right here, it looks like the military has grabbed a group of the guys that are up in the mountain. Now they're all coming down, being walked down the mountain right now. And once again, not a single woman in sight. It's all just a group of men right here, all being escorted.
Not true. There's a woman on the left-hand side of that group that walked down.
There's another group back there.
Yeah. I think she was being escorted by the Spanish
military.
Okay. So she could have been a local who probably felt a bit nervous, if you know what I mean. The looks of it.
For sure.
She was because the military had her completely separated from the group. But even when
Right.
we play it here now, you can see another group. It's all men, by the way. It's all men. As you say, military age men. All of this, which is pretty unnerving.
As
Well, if
well.
they're there to work for a family, then they're not. If they're there to work for a family to provide for their family, that's different than me and 50 of my buddies. Like, so where are they from? What is the origin of this? We don't know where they're from. We didn't vet them. We don't know anything about them. We just know that they're here and they're
Yeah.
hopping on our Mercedes-Benz buses to get around town. I'm kidding. They're actually just walking around in their chocolates.
Yeah, they're just walking around. You can see the kind of shadow of them. See them around there in the mountains.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, just wandering around. Wow, that is crazy. Imagine if this was your house, and you wake up in the morning, it's just random guys just wandering around your land.
Well, if I were in Texas, I wouldn't have a problem because
Well,
they have
yeah.
stand your ground and
Yeah.
castle doctrine. But in a place where you're not allowed to have firearms, bit of a problem.
Yes. Very,
Well, at
very
least they
much.
drive on the correct side of the road. Look at that. They're driving on the correct side of the road there. Good.
Group of people who are getting pushed down the mountain from the Spanish military. Looks like the Spanish military, the Spaniards are starting to do something about this migrant crisis. It has gotten really, really bad. All these people are now fleeing, coming down the mountain, being pushed down from the Spanish military, and the police are coming up right now. As the police made a push to get everyone down the mountain, due to the sheer amount of people that crossed into the country when they opened up the gates, there were so many people and so many children that entered. We headed to a camp where there were tons of abandoned children. Familia? ¿Cuántas personas vinieron con usted? How many people came with you? Why'd you come here? ¿Por qué vinieron aquí? Why'd you come?
Quieren ir a España, sí, a Madrid, Barcelona, cualquier sitio.
How old are these kids right here?
15, 16, 18, 15, 14.
15, 14 years old. And where are their parents?
Sí, están en Marruecos. Cada uno a su cosa.
Are you guys nervous?
Tranquilo, tranquilo.
Lamine Yamal or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo.
I didn't know what questions to ask him. I was like, Lamine Yamal or Ronaldo? Adios. How old are you guys?
Me llamo Anas 21, soy Marruecos, no trabajo, no. Viva España. ¿Qué voy a hacer?
15.
You're 15 years old.
Sí, señor.
Sus padres?
Español.
Papá y mamá Marruecos.
No papá, no mamá.
Americans sacrifice لنا باش نمشيو لإسبانيا.
That is absolutely crazy. Wow, the amount of young people there that is crazy. How are their parents allowing this?
It's Morocco. They're not really stuck in a school or in a first world situation. They don't have anything better to do than to try and find a better place to be because their country is functionally non-functional.
Yeah, that's the most polite way we can put that. But it's just going to be interesting. What are the Spanish going to do with all these kids? Are they going to send them all? Are they going to send all these minors back over the border, or what are they going to do?
That's a really good question. They're going to have children who are of school age that need to be in some kind of secondary schooling situation if they can't figure out a way to send them back. So that's another way to jam up the process of a first world country. When you send them children, they feel obligated to take care of those children because they're children.
Yeah.
And understanding that your ideological set kicks in before 18. So yeah, you're going to have people who are not really going to want to assimilate. And as much as they want work, they would really rather have the free things that come from being in a first world country.
Yes.
You've experienced that in Ireland yourself. They want the resources.
Oh, yes.
They're there to extract resources. They are not there to work.
Yeah,
they're there to work. They would be working.
As I say that right now, our government are trying. Well, it's a bit late. They're trying to crack down on that, but still, is it too little, too late? I think in a lot of ways, we should have done.
Well,
we should have done this process years ago.
Yeah, you just tell non-citizens we're no longer giving you resources because you're not Irish citizens, and our taxes aren't going to pay for your things. So you can either leave or you can leave.
Yep. There's plenty of
Get a
airports.
job or leave.
Yes.
Yeah, there are plenty of airports. If you come to us and say, I want to go home because you're not giving me resources anymore because we're not citizens, we'll send you home.
Yes.
Seems pretty simple.
That's what they do in Denmark. You know, we keep going on about the Danish model, and I think a lot more countries in Europe are looking at that model. And
right, the EU Parliament just passed a lot of things about immigration into the EU as well.
Yes.
So that's going to start getting pushed all over the place as well.
But it's as you say, what are they going to do with these kids? Me personally, I know it sounds a bit harsh when I say this, but just send them back over the border. That's where they came from.
Well, if they were big enough to get to that across the border, then they're big enough to get home to their mama.
Yeah, apparently none of them have mums or dads. One of the young men saying there, so he never had a mum or dad, so he just magically.
I don't think that's what he said. I think what he said is they're not here.
They're not here, yeah. No, this whole
rubbish
excuse. But once they get citizenship, I can guarantee you their parents will suddenly reappear. Guarantee it.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a cheap magic trick, as they would say.
So here they're all showering. This is where these guys are set up. They're showering out of these buckets right here. It's actually really sad to see this. This is how they're cleaning their clothes. This is where these guys are getting their water at to shower. They're showering out of buckets right now. They're getting it from this pipe underneath the street right now. And they're all showering, washing their clothes out of this bucket. It's actually just really sad to see. This is what the situation is like here at the border of Spain and Morocco. They're using laundry detergent for shampoo. We finally found our first two women here this whole entire video. How come you came to Spain?
Pedro Sanchez.
Pedro Sanchez good?
Sanchez good. Viva España. Viva España. Viva España. No Morocco.
How old are you?
17.
He's 17 years old. And 15. So all these guys here, like Pedro Sanchez, a lot of people are saying that he's the reason why all this is happening.
Interesting when he said that, isn't it? That's the reason why they came over, because he pardoned 500,000.
Well, and obviously they'll pardon all the new people that are just coming, not the generational ones that were there because Franco brought them in.
Yeah, but this is absolutely craziness. As you said, now Spain is stuck with all these kids. And what's going to happen is, I can guarantee it, is because, as you say, our first world empathy will kick in. All these kids will get the resource of the state.
Well, it's not first world empathy, it's suicidal empathy.
Yes.
You're going to destroy your culture with those who are going to fail to assimilate. And they will extract your resources.
As let's face it, we're not dealing with most of these people. You're not dealing with the sharpest tools in the shed. Let's not mince words. They're not the best and the brightest that Morocco has to offer.
Right, but they're self-aware enough to know that there is no work and there is no education. There is nothing positive for them where they are. Right, they at least get that. They are actually trying to find a better way and a better place. And I respect that. But it needs to be done in a way that is advantageous, because an immigration policy is a policy that should be advantageous for the host nation. If it is not, then we can't gather enough resources to assist other people, except by taxation, and then the fraud and abuse that's laden with that is also not good either.
Yeah.
Right. So it's suicidal empathy to the point where we're going to choose to lose our countries as opposed to stand strong in our beliefs and our structure.
Yeah, we're going to finish it off with one more clip there in a moment. Right, before we finish up today, we have one more kind of clip from Nick Shirley's video I'm going to show you. It's kind of sums up a lot, the thinking around a lot of these guys. We'll see it there in a moment. And we always have to give that kind of warning. If people don't like violence or whatever, they can click off our video there right now if they want.
Town with the citizen vigilante Mansilla. However, within minutes we were chased out. So now people here to feel safe, they're walking around with their dogs because Muslims do not like dogs. Watch out, watch out, watch out. we got people throwing stuff at us. Okay, Diesel. Look, he's got the rocks now. He's throwing rocks. Oh shit. They're throwing rocks. No. Look, now we're getting chased. He has a knife. He has a knife. He's got a knife. He's got a knife. Just like that, we have finished our mission here in Spain. We showed you guys the truth of what was actually going on. And we finished with a knife. We finished with a knife chase down the hill, and then got escorted back up to our car.
That is absolutely crazy, isn't it?
Well, if they were allowed to have guns, there would be no problems with people with rocks.
Yeah.
If they had stand your ground and castle doctrine, somebody
Well,
comes on your property, you're like,
obviously, this is a public road, so even the United States out in public roads, I know the law is a bit strange when it comes to public roads like that, isn't it?
no,
Isn't it?
nope. If somebody pulls out a rock or a bottle and they're going to smash it on your head, you can kill them.
Okay.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. If you have a concealed carry license and someone comes at you hot like that, you can put hot lead in them.
But
For sure.
What if eye-opening about it, that is, you were saying earlier about people assimilating into the culture. Do you think those people would ever assimilate into a first world country?
On the opposite end of a gun? Probably.
But in general?
If they decide, in general, no. But if they understand that if they were to attempt to interact with certain kinds of populations, those who are armed and have natural right to defense bestowed upon them, then they would not do that. They literally would not do that, because if you, let's say you're in Texas, right, randomly in some town in Texas, and someone comes at you hot with something like that, they're going to get shot. There isn't a question. There is no question they will get shot. And in most, so we have constitutional carry states where you can just carry your gun on your hip. Those guys are not going to run at a dude with a gun on his hip. They're going to be like, oh, that's a gun. Guess what? I'm not going to do the dumb thing and throw a rock at them. I'm going to have to find some other place with suicidal empathy and go lean on them.
Yeah, and that's what's happening across Europe, really, isn't it? With these random guys, for the most part, we have these random guys everywhere.
For the most part, you've been disarmed.
Mm.
That's not great.
Which let's say it honestly, decades ago, it was no one minded being unarmed because we were all one country, you could say, for the most part. A lot of these countries.
No.
Now we've got, as you said.
No. That statement is incorrect.
Okay.
I have never been in my entire life in a place where I felt that I needed to be unarmed. Never, not once in my life. I've been in a place where I'm like, golly, I'm so safe. I just don't need a firearm to, prevent bad things from happening because I have a natural right to defend myself. That has never been.
But we have never had the level of violence. And take Ireland, for example. We've never had the crimes that we have now compared to years ago. We're a much more safer country.
You were safer in the past, yes, but not safe.
Okay. But
you have hooligans with sticks and the troubles, and you had all kinds of rough things going on.
Yes, but that was more Northern Ireland or more down the south. But what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, maybe it is a time to revisit that discussion around citizens being armed in some way.
Oh, I think that would be amazing. Even if we all just had 6 shooters, that'd be great. That would be 6 bad guys that would have a problem.
Yeah.
And then if all the people around had 6 bullets in their 6 shooter, then that would be multiples of 6 that would not be causing problems.
Yes. But as I said, we're definitely living in changing times, and not very good times either, by the looks of it, as we're seeing. Right. Do you have anything more to say to the people before we lock this one in?
Stay safe. Do the best you can. Let's hope folks start assimilating into these cultures and making things better. And let's hope our governments are actually adhering to the wants of their constituency.
Yes. So, if you enjoyed the video, as always, do like and subscribe. And ring that notification bell and all the usual things that all us YouTubers do say at the end of these videos. And as always, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you the next time.